Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to.
Who is a good Christian?
Well, I think a Christian doesn't need a prefix. A Christian is a Christian. There is nothing like a bad Christian, for instance. You are either a Christian or you are not. Of course, there are degrees of growth. There are young believers whose knowledge of the things of God are still preliminary. There are growing believers, people who have some more experience and are excited to learn, are growing. In fact, every Christian should be a growing believer. You will never reach the stage where you have reached the utmost. Everybody should be a growing Christian. But there is no bad Christian. You are not. If you are bad, you are not a Christian. I usually will tell people this. We like to talk about godly men. Unfortunately, many of the so-called godly men cannot be called good men. And so, as a necessity, it is impossible to be godly without being goodly.
Now, what are the qualities, elements, attributes of a good church?
A good church. You're trying to get me into trouble. Number one, it must be understood that Christianity is not about going to church, for that matter. Christianity is a state of relationship, a relationship between man and God. Of course, the church comes in because the Bible teaches us not to forsake the assembly of believers. And the assembly of believers offers very many opportunities for growth, opportunity for maturity, opportunity for learning, shared learning. Now talk about good or a good church. Church loses its essence when it is just a building. We often called church because we see a nice cathedral. The truth is that church doesn't necessarily mean a physical building. The word ecclesia in the New Testament means a coming together, a community of believers. So where two or three are gathered, there will be. It has no reference to physicality, physical presence. It's the believers coming together to fellowship, to worship, and to encourage each other. So churches that are essentially feeding the human spirit, providing an atmosphere and an environment where learning takes place, where people learn from each other and from the world. That's a good church.
Okay. So what's your take on these churches that are busy erecting gigantic structures here and there? I mean, how do you place that side by side? The answer that you just gave to us.
You really want to get me in trouble, but that's well, people like me run the danger of my opinions being ascribed to jealousy because it doesn't have and all of that. But I'll still answer you regardless of what people think. This grace, grace for building a gigantic structure, it's more of a thing of the flesh than of the spirit. You know, I got in trouble about 14 years ago, 15 years ago, I went to minister at a very large church, the ministers' conference. And I answered this question by saying, why are we so concerned about building? My structure is bigger than your own, my cathedral is bigger than your own. I said to them, I said, do you read history at all? Because if you read church history, you will understand that a physical place of meeting is the least of what is required in worshiping God. In fact, I've got to say this very often. In the 16th or 17th century, I think it was, in Chicago, a man built what was called a faith camp. And believe me, my brother, one day fire came from nowhere. And I tell folks, that's not the devil. So our preoccupation with physical facilities takes away from what we are required to do. Resources that we should pump into spreading the gospel is used, is sunk into these projects. And all they do is blow up human ego. I'm the pastor of that gigantic church. But the truth is that Nigeria has a lot of them. Probably Nigeria has the highest concentration of the largest cathedrals in Africa, at least. But what is their impact in the society? Nigeria has not been as pagan as it is today, despite all those
structures. Okay. How would you respond to those who say, or who may want to say, that you can say what you have just said because you do not have a church of your own, you do not have a physical structure, that you are an itinerant preacher and stuff?
I with that, my brother, that people are likely to judge to say that, and in spite of what they feel, I would say what I believe is right. That our preoccupation and the putting together of humongous resources to build those things, particularly when they will not be self-sustaining. The model of church needs to change. You can't spend billions of dollars building cathedrals that people just worship in 2-3 times a week, and it's not bringing anything back. That model has to change. We need to move to models where we build facilities that are relevant to their communities, that work. Something is going on 24/7 and has the capacity to run itself. That the church offerings are not used to maintain these elephant projects. Let me say this quickly.
Yes, sir.
I've been teaching about this recently. If you go to the New Testament, Acts chapter 2, Acts chapter 4, because the Bible is our model. What happened was that the resources that came to the church was used to bless and to maintain those who didn't have. That's our primary constituency. Helping the weak, defending the weak, blessing the hungry, feeding the hungry, housing the houseless. That is the church's primary assignment. Not build some fancy structure that consume more money in maintenance, that don't have the resources to help the needy. The primary reason the New Testament church prospered was because the Bible says that those that had gave, that those that had not received. And at the end of the day, it was like nobody had anything, nobody lacked anything.